Okay, we are back. I do have my notes here once again. I do want to say that I am never gonna put my have been really interested in history, so I feel as if my take compared to others may be different or not the best, or like things may be obvious, but like for me, history was never my thing. It was always math, so disclaimer. But I do want to start off by saying it's kind of crazy how fast at that time, like how things like transcribed so fast and like one thing led to another, and like it's so weird because they didn't really have like technology like we do, and so for everything to like happen like this is like I feel like just so astonishing to me. I also do want to talk about that, like the dual alliances that like it's for me at least because I'm not a history person. It's kind of funny to me that like France and Russia were in like this alliance when like they aren't necessarily like connected. Like Russia's here and like France is here and like there's like the middle. Um and how alliance like really do come into effect, and like um alliances are like the turning, like can turn like a regional crisis into this like big like continental war, which like also jumping ahead where like when Germany invades like Belgium to get France, like that's what led like British, like the justification for like get involved. Like I just feel like it's so crazy that like Alliance like had that much big of an impact. I did also find it crazy that like the first attempt for like the assassin was completely botched. The fact that like when he jumped into the river, like it wasn't that deep. Like I feel like you would think to do your test runs, or like you would figure that beforehand. I kind of thought that was a little funny. I don't know if that's bad to say or not, but going from like that being completely botched to like it being as simple as like they're like close in car range, and like it was as simple as like that is also kind of crazy because you would think like security, or like you just wouldn't think it would be that easy to assassin. You would think, right? Um, I also do find it crazy. This is like something that like I don't know, as a person that like isn't really into history, the fact that like they knew quote for quote as to what Francis assassinator said, Gavarly Princip. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, but he had a quote about like him being like a Yugo slave. That's how like they knew that that's who he was. And I find that kind of like crazy because if everything like happened so fast in that moment, like I wouldn't think anybody would remember word for word as to what he said. And sometimes I think that's why like I wouldn't gravitate towards history because I would be like how much of it is true and how much it isn't. Um, but yeah, and then again, once like the timeline of like how fast everything happens from like July 28th to Austria declares war on Serbia, um, and that's where like alliances once again come into effect, and how it can take like this little regional crisis into like a huge continental war because there is like those alliances. And then to August 1st, where Germany's on Russia, Germany on France, and I know that they didn't want like Russia to mobilize, and that's another key term that I learned is like mobilizing, which is essentially like they didn't want them to like get ready for like war, like get equipped for war. That's why they did it so fast, but I just like it's kind of astonishing how like fast everything does happen. Um, but yeah, I think my biggest take is literally just like how alliances do play like this huge key role into like how big wars actually do become. Um, yeah, and that's really all my take.